Hey, welcome to this week's Midweek Howl, the non-paranormal part of the From the Shadows podcast. And I never remind anybody on this part to go check out our website, the From the Shadows podcast. You can find all of our social media there. If you want to get a hold of me, you can find me at Shane Grove Author on Instagram. And if you're really diligent, you can find the Howler on X, Instagram, but that's the only places that you lurk around, right? Is
Yeah, and
it?
I'm only 50-50. Don't expect a lot of what do they call it, engagement,
Don't
because
expect
I have given up on engagement.
you've given up on engagement.
Hmm.
Yeah. So go check us out there. You can find all of our social media, and if you have a paranormal story, which we don't really talk about on these episodes, hit the contact button on the website, from the shadows podcast.com, and send me a email, and I'll get back to you. Maybe we can have your story on. You can come tell it. So with that being said, I teased you with, now we're recording this way out of our comfort zone, way early. Phil's going to Europe, going to Germany for the Grimfest. They're going to his movie studios premiere and promoting a couple movies. So he wanted us to do some stuff early. So we don't normally do this a week in advance, but here we are a week in advance. But I do have a good story to tell you. Um, so I kind of teased you. So my father-in-law, so we live out here in the country. My in-laws, we live on the edge of their farm. They have like 80 acres or whatever, 20 acres of woods, but they live way back in old farm lane. You know what I'm saying? Like quarter mile back or eighth of a mile back. And so they get a lot of critters running around, you know, possums, groundhogs, raccoons, stuff like that. So he always has a trap out trying to catch groundhogs. And about a week ago, he goes out to the trap and he had caught a raccoon. Now, I know some people listening will not like this, but when they catch these varmints and critters because they're up near the house messing around,
He shoots and releases.
shoots and releases. Okay.
Yeah.
So my father-in-law shot this raccoon
Hmm.
twice. It didn't move. He assumed it was dead. And he went to pick up the trap. He didn't have gloves on, but he went to pick up
Hmm.
the trap just to move the trap out to the field. And that raccoon bit him right on the hand, right on the finger,
Uh-oh.
right on the finger. Okay.
Rabies time now.
Oh boy. Well, guess what? He didn't think it was any big deal. He waited a whole almost 24 hours
Well,
before going to the doctor.
and the doctor said, you got
doc,
quarantine. What'd they say? I don't even
doctors
know. What did they say?
well, the doctor told him, said, listen, that was the dumbest thing you could have done, is not come immediately. And he's just like, well, the thing didn't seem like it had rabies, and I don't think any.
Summertime, boy. You can't. Did he saw the animal, the head and all that or not?
No, I don't. No, I don't know what, they didn't bring it into the hospital or anything.
Yeah.
So the doctor told. So the first goes, look, you got to get a bunch of shots, but you're not out of the woods because this could take a year to show up. Like a year from now, he could
Yep.
start exhibiting symptoms of
Yep.
rabies. And the doctor said, look, there's no cure for rabies. Once you got it, you're done. And it's a slow and painful death. And he
Yep.
had five weeks of shots. The first shot was in the tip of his finger where he got bit.
I couldn't believe that old farm guy like that didn't know that.
I
You either got to go right then or you don't tell anybody. And next year, when he freaks out at Easter and goes after some people, okay, the deputies kill him and nobody knows why.
That's right. Because the last thing we think is
Yeah,
he's got
because he never
rabies.
told anybody. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just think he lost his mind
Uh-huh.
and or maybe got into some meth
Yep.
or something
Yep.
before Easter dinner
Yep.
or something. He turned into a zombie.
That's
and
right. Uh-huh.
Um, have you
You could, uh-huh.
have you ever, like, I've never been around anybody that I don't know. I read a thing, so I started looking. It said every 9 minutes somebody dies of rabies.
I know when I was a kid, it was a big deal that they would have, especially when it's dry like this. I think it's when it happens. There's certain times, I think when it's dry, they get a lot of rabies for some reason. And they would, in the county I grew up in, there was an order that every stray dog, I remember being in middle school, grade school, middle school and stuff, any stray dog, would have a health order. And if they've seen a dog without a collar on, they were going to kill it. They killed them.
Wow. Wow.
It was that prevalent. They were that scared back in those days. And then they would kill them and cut their head off, bring it to the state lab and do all this testing. Especially if you get an outbreak like somebody test positive or a coon or something test positive. Yeah, they go full blown, you know.
Well, I remember a buddy of mine he was the first kid from our class to pass away.
From rabies?
No, he was in a car wreck.
Oh, okay.
Not because he had rabies, but when we were in junior middle school, maybe he got bit by a couple of Dobermans attacked him, and he had to get rabies shots. And back then, it was like 20 shots in your stomach.
Yes. That's
And
what I was thinking you were going to tell me your father might do.
no, it's at least that part of it. They seem to have changed. You know what I'm saying? Seem to have changed. I mean, I got so I guess now getting bit by a dog, especially like ones in town, rabies is the last thing. They must all have to have rabies shots or something, right? I mean, I'm assuming. So, because when I got bit by a dog, even though it wasn't much of a thing, all they cared about was me having my tetanus shot. But I mean, that prevents rabies, right?
I know. What does it?
I don't know, but I only got it after I got bit by the dog, so it wasn't like I had to. So, man, do we have any vets out there? Do we have anybody that knows what they're talking about? So, but I mean, it's been longer than a year, and I didn't turn into a zombie and try to kill anybody, so I don't have it. So yeah, we're all sitting here with bated breath to see if next 4th of July there's some real fireworks. You know what I'm saying? And he just goes crazy and starts biting people or something. So thankfully, he's not a great big guy. We could subdue him, but he might have like raccoon opossum strength or something,
Right.
and just be we might not be able to handle it. No, but I was with you. I've thought, man, somebody that's been around the farm like that would know how dangerous that was. But he just was like, it didn't look like it had rabies, so I didn't think it was a problem. I'm like, okay. So, but if you ever know, I mean, obviously, if you know somebody has rabies, they died apparently. Did you? I mean, have you ever
No, I
read?
don't. I've never heard anybody.
But I couldn't believe that stat. Once every 9 minutes, somebody dies from rabies around the world. So, I mean, I'm assuming that is in more like third world countries where you know they don't care if the thing has rabies; they're still going to cook it and eat it. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hungry.
Well, I think it's funny. I listened to a Meat Eater podcast that they were talking about chronic waste disease or CWD or one of the brain disorders in white-tailed deer, and if you had a deer that was positive, would you eat the meat off of it?
Ooh, gosh. I mean, it depends, right? How desperate you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're dying either. You might die either way. You're definitely going to die one way if you don't eat. So I guess you got to play the odds a little bit. so so I want to ask you something. So you said you talked to Ed. So was Ed mad we put his picture up?
No, he was splattered.
He was flattered. Did he get any fan mail or anything? I mean, I didn't get any message. I fully was expecting this full fan club of women and to be like, hey, can you put us in touch with Ed? We want to know who Ed the super fan is, and is he going to do a signing or something? Make a personal appearance. I was expecting. I didn't get it.
Well, he's a modest man. He's
Yeah.
not, and the cowboy bodybuilder is a way of life for him. It's not a way of building fans.
No.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's not worried about engagement. He's worried about the price of diesel fuel and the price of beef. That's what he's worried about.
The cowboy bodybuilder. That could be a thing. I don't think that.
But
I mean, you might be the
you
first one to
know,
coin that phrase.
well, I don't know. There's people. I don't want to throw rocks here. There's people that have that Yellowstone aura. You know what I mean? That want
Hmm.
to act like. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? It's kind of
Yep.
like Matthew McConaughey said in that one movie. It's one thing to act like the king of the jungle. It's another thing to be the king of the jungle. So it's one thing everybody can go get a pair of boots down at the
Hmm.
farm store and an area out shirt, right?
Yeah.
And act like the cowboy bodybuilder. It's another thing to live it, right?
So that's right.
Totally two totally things. I mean, how many people do you know? I don't know any good. There's a lot of people in Nashville that pretend to be songwriters, right? But
Yes, there's a lot of yes, you're right.
you know what I'm saying?
That
But
their
but
names on the credits, and
but
they don't.
how many? I'm trying to think of some of the old guys that are dead now. I was going to say, David, but we assume he's alive still as a
We
songwriter,
we assume
or
we
or
assume.
now my little brother wants to do a Where's David? He thinks that would blow up if we did a
I
Where's
do too.
David.
I do too.
So,
I think if we can get
but
some
who's the
backing.
guy that he mentions? Who's the guy that he mentions? And you never call me by my name. Well, who's the old songwriter that does a lot of stuff? My friend so and so said.
Oh, oh yeah, Steve Goodman. I mean,
Yeah,
he's dead, but Steve
he's
Goodman.
dead too. Yeah,
Yeah,
the good
yeah,
ones all die.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're good songwriters are like dogs; they'll die, and you don't know if they were that good or they just died before they went bad. One or the other.
Oh, so songwriters are kind of like Old Yeller.
Yeah, and Amy Winehouse. They look about the same, probably smell about the same, but
How did we? How did
I
you
bet you
start?
old Yeller would probably listen. I love Amy Winehouse back in the day,
How did you
but
get?
she was a wreck. I mean, my God.
I think a lot of those rock stars are wrecks, but
Now, you
it's
think that's what helps them make the movie or not make the song? They've got to have that to.
well, it's so I don't know, man. It's so like the people I've known that have who have passed away way before their time and that were geniuses that I personally knew, and it was like so it's so coming from me who's totally sober and not under the influence of anything ever. I never understood like how they could even. It's kind of like the athletes that stay up all night, they're partying, and then they just walk onto the field and they can perform, and they perform at such a a great level. It's like these performers could stay up all night, doing drugs, smoking, drinking, not getting any sleep. But as soon as it's time to do that thing, whatever it is they could do, it's like God comes in and says, "Okay, I'll take over now and I will do it." And I always thought, man, just think about how great they would be if they weren't messed up or if they took better care of themselves. And I don't know that that is the case. I don't know if the um, partying or the drugs or the whatever enhances what they already have, and we just the rest of us don't even have it to enhance. It would just make us a drunk or or a worthless basketball player or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It just seems like they're so far above the mere mortal people that that stuff doesn't matter. I mean, I had a buddy who another one who died way young. I don't even think he was
From
30.
what?
He drank. Well, this guy pitched was a year older than me, stud athlete, was pitched at Toledo and really good look. He looked like Kurt Russell, like a young
Okay.
Kurt Russell.
Yep.
Okay. And but he would drink and he would smoke and he never gained a lick of weight. We
Mm-hmm.
always, we played basketball and stuff, and he would get up every morning and he would run I think it was 3 miles. And it wouldn't matter how trashed he got the night before, he'd get up and run. And I asked him one time, I was like, dude, how do you do that? And he goes, that running that 3 miles lets me smoke and drink every night. And I just thought, why not just cut out the smoking and drinking, and then
Maybe
you
he
don't
wouldn't
have
be as good because some of the best runners I
yeah.
ever worked with were smokers.
Yeah. And so it just worked for him. And he was, you
What
know,
killed him?
he was drunk at I think their 10th year. Yeah, he must have been 28, 29. Their 10th year class reunion, and he dove into a pond. And when he dove in, he went face first into the sand, and he sucked in a bunch of sand. And so the sand got into his lungs. And I mean, it didn't, the diving in the pond, that stuff didn't kill him. It's every time he took a breath, the sand then shredded his lungs. And so he actually,
So it
uh,
took him a few days to die.
it took him a few hours, like to the point where I believe his parents and stuff made it to the hospital and he could talk
They
to him.
couldn't. They couldn't after watching that Nicky Lauda movie. They couldn't go in there and suck it out.
I don't know. Maybe they didn't. I don't understand that. I mean, I don't, maybe they didn't have the ability back then or what, but that's what killed him was the sand every time he breathed in, just like shredded his lungs and there was nothing they could do. It was sad because I mean, he'd be the guy now that would be still the best looking 50, guy in his late 50s, probably still be in good shape, probably would go around and be able to pass for Kurt Russell. I mean,
Probably doing a podcast. He'd probably be doing a podcast right now.
he wouldn't even have time for it. He'd be running from the girls, from the women, because that's the kind of guy he was. They all loved him. Like Ed, kind of like Ed, you know. I'm
That's the
sure
old Ed. Ed's old and married now, but the young Ed, the girls chased him.
I saw a story this week that kind of reminded me of it. Did you see the story about the Egyptian strongman? What he did, what this guy did with his
No, I don't think.
oh my gosh. So I can't understand. So this Egyptian strongman, he's a wrestler. He pulled a 700-ton ship across the water with a rope held only by his teeth. Now,
Now,
is
I've
that
got so many questions.
okay?
I mean, what are we talking? Pool? I mean, 6 inches, 6 feet, 6 miles.
Okay, so um his nickname is Kabonga, which sounds right. He has dazzled before with his
And
astonishing
he's from where?
strength.
Egypt.
Egypt. So earlier this year, he pulled a train, and he has also single-handedly pulled a locomotive. And 4 years ago, he pulled a truck. Um, so every time he does it, so with the ship, he's 44 years old. He's hoping to get a Guinness Book of World Records. So let's see. He pulled a 700-ton ship, and to affirm his challenge, he pulled two ships weighing approximately 1,150 tons together. It does not
Now,
describe.
is he like the Erie Canal, a mule on the Erie Canal? He's walking along the bank, pulling them,
Yeah,
or how
that
how
is.
how how?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. It has to be. I mean, and listen, to me, um, pulling a ship, even that big, would it beat that hard? Because
Well, I don't know.
anybody of water is gonna, it's gonna be easy. It's not gonna really be a lot, 700 tons. Um,
That's how much it displaces. I don't know. We had this discussion this morning about what's the difference between a boat and a ship.
what is the difference between a boat and a ship?
You can put a boat on a ship, but you can't put a ship on a boat.
You're probably right, right? I mean, technically.
Well, I mean, I think that dovetailed in that we were talking about something completely different, but the Navy has more airplanes than the Air Force. and the Army has more boats than the Navy.
And why is that?
Well, it's just because they consider they got a lot of watercraft for
Yeah.
pontoon bridges, the engineers and all that stuff, but they don't have a lot of ships. They've got ships, but they don't have a lot of ships.
So this guy,
And what was
okay,
his name? I've never
hi-
seen a lot of big Egyptians because they just don't have the. I mean, is he one of them Egyptians whose parents moved to England and fed him, or is he a Dearborn, Michigan Egyptian? But they just don't have over in Sandland. They don't have the food. I mean, I watched last night a No Reservations with Anthony Bourdain in Egypt
really? How was
on
that?
Pluto, and he was barefoot in the sand because I mean, there wasn't a blade of grass to eat. So how did this Egyptian get that big? Is what I'm saying.
Well, here you go. He followed a protein and iron-rich diet, consuming at least a dozen eggs, two whole chickens, and 11 pounds of fish every day, all while training for 2 hours.
No way could one man eat 11 pounds of fish.
Well, he is, let's see, he is 6'3", 341 pounds.
So he's my size.
You don't weigh 341 pounds.
328 this morning.
Holy smokes. We need to get you to Egypt.
Big boy show.
We
This is a
need
big boy show.
we need to get you to Egypt, man. And you could come in a distant second in this.
I can't eat 11 pounds of fish.
I
Eat
you don't
11
think
pounds of chocolate, maybe.
you don't think you could eat 11 pounds of fish? I would be like, as long as it's not breaded, I think you could eat 11 pounds of. Speaking of that, you ever see the guy, man or beard versus food or whatever? Have you ever seen that guy on YouTube?
No, I don't watch YouTube. I don't want to pay for you. My brother-in-law touts this YouTube TV, but I don't know. I mean, he gets all his TV on YouTube.
Well,
But no,
I think well, so there's this dude.
my
He's
brother
a
loves YouTube too.
he,
Go ahead,
he's
finish
well, he's an English guy, great big beard,
where all the good people are. A white
little.
Englishman or an Arab Englishman.
He's a white dude,
Okay, well,
little
you don't know
guy,
nowadays.
little guy. Okay, little guy. I think he barely weighs 150 pounds, and he just annihilates these eating contests. And I'm talking eating contests where I'm not sure. I don't think you and I together could go
I was
eat.
gonna say I watched a hot dog deal the other day that on
Oh,
ESPN and they had to eat a bun and they were dipping the whole thing
uh,
in water.
oh,
Have you
that's so
seen them do that?
gross. That's
Have you
so
seen them do that?
yes, that's gross. I couldn't do that. Could you, like that?
No, I mean
Dip it in ketchup, right? I mean,
I don't remember how many. I think the dude got 100 and some. Does that sound right?
I don't think they get a like Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut and those guys.
Yeah, I mean some of them were like real. I mean they were real deal.
I think they're like in the 70s or something.
I
But
don't remember what they were, but it just seemed like it might have probably felt like 100.
this guy the other day sometimes he's in the United States and sometimes he's over in England or whatever. And he shows up to this place and it was 150 chicken nuggets that if you to eat it by yourself, you had a half hour, but if you had a partner, you could do it. You had 15 minutes.
And you
Nobody
had to
had
eat how much?
150. And when I say chicken nugget, they called them chicken nuggets. They were more like chicken fingers. They weren't like nuggets from little square things. They're a little bit longer.
Right.
And so this woman who is apparently does the same thing he does, is there, and she's going to be his partner. And I'm like, there is no way. They said nobody had finished those 150 um, chicken fingers or whatever in 15 minutes or a half hour. Like I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this is impossible. They did it together with 2 minutes, like over 2 minutes to spare. Then they ordered dessert off the dessert menu and ate some dessert. And he always does that. No matter where he's at, when he gets done, he'll say, "Hey, do you got a dessert menu?"
So what did he win for this?
Nothing. Lots of
Yeah, that's what I
places.
was gonna say. The ones I seen, they didn't get really anything, and I'm like, dude.
Oh, well, here's what he wins. Okay. He's monetizing his videos on YouTube. So he's making good money for that.
Maybe. I
Um,
mean, doesn't it take thousands of dollars viewers to get a quarter, doesn't it?
no, it's not that bad. But he's got he might have millions of subscribers and his stuff has millions of views. He's making good money. He's making more money doing those eating challenges on YouTube than I am working at the post office. I will tell you that.
Well,
Um,
yeah, but
but a
you're
lot
doing the Lord's work. There's a lot of elderly people counting on you every day to bring them the mail. So what's the price of that? That's
is
priceless.
is there? I don't know. Did I tell you about the lady? So
No, finish the
so
eating contest, then you can swing back to the old woman that wants to make house calls.
no, she's mad at me. Anyway, so sometimes you win t-shirts or you get the meal free or whatever. I just can't imagine like how bad you would feel afterwards. Like how long would it take you to
Yes,
recover?
because I go to the Mexican restaurant with my wife and daughter, and I feel terrible all day.
And you're not trying to win a contest.
No,
You're just eating number 16 off the menu. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
16. I'm like two on the lunch menu. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. It's like so imagine like he's eating the one was like a burrito that was 4 foot long. So I mean I didn't even watch that because some of the stuff I'm like this is just going to be terrible. I can't imagine it. I just can't imagine how bad it'd make you feel. But he's a tiny guy. So well at Kobayashi, the guy that does the hot dogs is a tiny guy. So they just must train. I mean, I know they train their stomachs and stuff. I just don't know how that would be fun, you know? Um,
I don't know.
it'd be terrible. Like I wouldn't, I guess I could eat a couple pies. That might be fun.
Didn't know what she looked like.
Geez. Anyway, we'll have to have Phil remove that one. Anyway,
No, I'm
anyway,
talking about it depends on you getting Amish ones or you get Mennonite pies or you getting them up at. I'll tell you the best pie, French silk up at used to be
you always go to the French silk. I've had
French
French
silk at like
or Dutch.
Denny's. Remember, you'd walk into a Denny's and they would
Oh
have
yeah.
pies right there. Oh, man,
they just tore down the nearest Denny's to us to put up a Raising Cane's. You
I don't
got
even know. I don't even know when last time I saw a Denny's. Now that you mentioned that,
there used to be a Denny's on my original mail route in Tiffin, Ohio, and I would stop there for lunch because you could still get like the Grand Slam for
100%.
like $5 or something, and that was a
Yes,
great
I was going to
lunch.
say we used to take our kids to Denny's. They had free kids meals like on Tuesday or so. One of the I don't remember which.
Hmm.
And when I was in the South Metro, Minneapolis, they got thousands of restaurants, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, you just name it. The problem is if you're not eating by 5:30 or whatever, the lines can be so big, especially like on Saturday or Sunday or whatever. So
Hmm.
we would just go to Denny's. It was right there, and we could get right in, and you could eat for pretty cheap. The kids' meals like $5-6,
Yeah,
and I don't know. That was the good old days.
it, wa-
That
it
was
was.
pre. That was
It
pre
was.
Biden. Well,
Oh, gee.
whatever.
That's back during Obama. You're right. That was the
you
good
know.
old days. That was good. But now, flash, 25 years later, if I eat a hamburger for lunch while I'm on the mail route,
Yep.
I just want to pull over and oh my God, I can't believe I ate that junior bacon cheeseburger.
I
It's
gotta go ahead and finish
and,
and I'll
and
finish.
and before I would stop at Denny's and eat the Grand Slam for $6 and
Yes,
and chase it out with coffee and just be like, I can work for
coffee.
nothing.
I used to do half a dozen sodas sitting there.
Oh, I'm not a
I
soda
had an
guy.
uncle that worked in a factory for 30, probably from the time he was 18, 19 till he retired when he was 50, 52, 53, 35 years in a factory. And to this day, we had a thing not too long ago, 4th of July, or we had my grandma's 94th birthday party at his house. He two things. He never sits down. He stands up all the time, like all day.
Really?
And
Okay.
yeah, you get to talking to him, and he said he hasn't ate lunch in years. And I remember a couple
Okay.
years ago, he said, I never was a lunch eater because he said if you eat, then you slow down and you feel like hell, and especially on the line, you know what I mean, where what he was doing, you know what I mean. Those guys that would
Mm-hmm.
would would sit down and eat a bunch, and then they wouldn't want to get up. And And the older I get, the more he was right on the money. Because if
Hmm.
as long as I don't eat, I can go all day. But as soon as I eat something, I'm done. Especially at lunchtime, I eat with people that go to lunch and eat like
Like a whole big giant meal,
yes,
and like you're on vacation. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
You can't do that. Yeah.
yes, and then you try to go back to the office and do something. It's like, come on.
There was a guy I worked with that used to he would stop at the one Dairy Queen in town and get 2 foot long conies and a milkshake for lunch. And I'm like, how on earth did you eat 2 foot long conies with onions and all that stuff and then chase it down the milkshake? I'd have to go find a chair. I mean, have to go take a nap.
But he could do it. But he did it.
Did it all the time, he said. And I just was like, dude, that's the grossest. That's just gross. Sounds gross too. Yeah. Like now I'm just to the point where I'm barely eating anything. Like the most I'll go get is a ham and
Yeah.
cheese sandwich from Tim Hortons or something. And
Mhm.
and even that is getting there's too much bread.
My wife just made dinner upstairs, and it's BLT tonight. That's it.
Ooh. You know, is the tomatoes and stuff is the tomatoes homegrown, lettuce homegrown?
It's bought off a Mexican up here on the highway, so it's probably fucking stolen or something. Who knows? And the micro, I don't know if she took the time because I'm down here in the basement. If she took the time and made real bacon, or if she just microwaved me some stuff. You know, that microwave bacon. You know, the Sam's thick cut. But
Well, we do when we do BLTs here, everything, the tomatoes and lettuce are from our in-laws' garden, and then the bacon's the stuff that my brother-in-law raised and made, and it's man, it's good. That's you can't beat a good BLT of all fresh stuff.
no, you
You
sure can't.
can't beat. So I'm gonna tell you about this lady that's mad at me
Yep.
on the mail
Tell me.
route. All right. So I got back from vacation I don't know, 2 weeks ago, whatever. And I got back and it was a Tuesday. Then I went back to work. Ton of mail, ton of packages. And anytime you're off work for 5, 6 days, you're just like, I mean, I'm to the point where I was like, I want to
Yeah.
be anywhere.
Where was I even at? Where did
Yeah,
I
well,
start? Where
yeah,
do I go?
why? Yeah. And so I had these, I have like a tray of letters, tray of magazines, and then I have like, we call them spurs. Those are like packages that fit in the mailbox that I don't have to get up and go to the house. So I always route them in order. I get to this address that starts with 1045, and there's two packages that start 104. Well, the 1045 always gets a bunch of packages. And, my eyesight's not great. And I think they both go to 1045. Well, the problem is the one went on the next street over to 1043, whatever that street is.
Okay.
Okay. So I scanned them both and delivered them to 1045.
To the wrong one.
One
One
of
of
them
them
to
right, and one of
one
them
of
to the
them,
wrong place.
one of them to the wrong place. So I get back to the post office 6 hours later or whatever. And my supervisor's kind of laughing. He goes, "Well, you just missed it." And he said, so the lady from 1043 called him up and it was her medicine. All right. And
Oh,
she goes, "Do you know where my package is?" And he's like, "Well, no, ma'am. I can see that it got delivered." And she goes, "But do you know where it is?" And he goes, "No, I don't know where it is." And she goes, "It is right here in my hand." And he goes, "Well, if you knew where it was, why
why are you calling
why
me?
did you call out?" She goes, "Well, it wasn't always right here in my hand. It's only in my hand because my neighbor brought it over to me." And he goes,
That's a good neighbor.
yeah. And he goes, "Well, the carrier must have misread the address or whatever." And she goes, "Now I'm going to tell you, this is what you're going to do from now on." So now he's mad because she goes, "He is your carrier or my carrier is going to bring that up to my door every time and give it to me personally.
And,
So I get it." And he said, "I'm going to tell you, my carrier is not going to do that unless you pay the extra money and need it to be signed for." And she goes, "Well, that's not." And he goes, "Listen, he made a mistake. Okay, it's the first time he's misdelivered your medicine. Obviously, because she'd have called if I had done it before. And so she hangs up mad. So I told him, I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. Next time I get her medicine, I'm going to pull up to her house. I'm going to put the medicine in the mailbox. Then I'm going to walk up to the front door and I'm going to ring the doorbell. When she comes, I'm going to say, hey, just want to let you know I put your medicine in the mailbox. And then I'll turn and go. He goes, dude, he goes, if you do that, that'd be the greatest thing.
You know what, though? That's why I couldn't be your boss at the post office, because you know what I told her? If he didn't find it today, what makes you think he's going to find it next time? What time think you think he's going to find it straight up on the porch?
Yeah, what makes you think he's going to deliver it right the next time? He has more incentive now to not.
He should have. He was just probably drunk. It's okay.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.
God only knows what time.